Okay, so welcome everybody. Please remember that as usual, if you would like to say something, you can simply type it in the free group, all right, or indicate so that your mic can be muted, can be unmuted, all right, because it's important that we maximize the period that we have together. So if you can hear me loud and clear, please just drop an emoji in the group, or I just drop an emoji in the chat group so that I know that we're together and you can hear me loud and clear. All right, beautiful. So welcome everybody. This is the second week in the month of July, I think. And as usual, we're going to be starting by taking a look at our currency indices. All right, remember, as usual, we already talked about the fact that I think we talked on correlation secrets. All right, we already talked about correlation secrets in Forex. All right, how you can use the indices of commodities to determine what exactly you should be trading for the week. All right, so we're going to be starting with a few of these guys. Let us go to AXY. All right, AXY is Australian index. All right, and it shows us what we should expect from Australian dollar. All right, for the week thereabouts. For a couple of weeks now, we've had this interesting drop, which was forecasted during one of our live sessions like this. All right. So right about now, we can see that AUD is currently within this zone. All right, it's somewhere around this zone. There's a possibility that AUD goes up a little bit. Let's check the daily time frame and be sure about that. All right, we've not seen a clear break of structure yet on the daily time frame. And I guess this is why we have marked this area already. All right, I have this area marked already. So it would be one of the areas to watch out for before I can categorically say whether AXY is ready to take on a more bearish outlook. All right. So as far as AXY is concerned, it's not really decided. All right. So the next one we'll take a look at is BXY, all right, which tells us what to expect from the pound, all right, what to expect from the pound this week, all right. As you can see, there was a forecast last week Sunday, all right, that price was coming all the way down here, all right, and then from down here we can start to think about prices going back up or gaining strength. And so far for 2 days, we can see that for 2 or 3 days, we can see that the pound has been a bit bullish. All right, the pound has been a bit bullish. So right about now, I want to be sure that price breaks this zone, okay, because a break of this zone would be the confirmation that I need, all right, that we're ready to start changing structure. All right, we're ready for a shift in structure. So we can form a higher low, all right, and that higher low leads us into an entirely new trend, all right. So for BXY, all right, we're expecting a degree of bullish pressure. The next one we'll quickly look into is the CXY, all right, which is the Canadian dollar index, and this gives us the overall the overview of what to expect from the Canadian dollar. All right, and you can see we talked about the fact that it was going to rise a little bit and drop. It didn't come as much as to fill this gap, all right, which means that this bullish movement, all right, if it's able to break out of this region right here, all right, we should be expecting prices to come up to fill that gap, all right. We should be expecting prices to come up to fill that gap after a valid retest, all right. So we'll break out of here. We'll possibly come back lower for a retest and then zoom all the way to the top. All right. So for CXY, since it's currently at an order block, I wouldn't want to I wouldn't be so positive about CXY being bullish. All right, I wouldn't be so positive because I want to see price break through this area already. All right, I want to see that breakout already before we can start to say, oh yeah, this is the current structure. This low has been broken. This low has been broken. And then I'm not sure this is a clear enough eye to consider for a break and retest. But let's see what price does around here. All right, so CXY is also undecided. All right, which means that it is from the charts that we can be able to know what exactly the Canadian dollar's strength is going to look like for this week. Okay, let me quickly say, for those of you who followed my analysis last week, all right, who followed the setups last week, I recall that I gave very clear entries for some of these trades, which we're going to see once we start looking at these commodities. All right. But for those of you who took those trades and made some money, I'm just using this medium to remind you all that I'm yet to receive my tithes. All right. I am a pastor, so tithing or collecting tithes is a part of the profession. All right. So if you've not paid your tithes for last week's analysis, please do well to reach out to me. I'm still receiving tithes. God bless you. All right. That was on a lighter note. Before some people start leaving and wondering, why is this man asking for tithes? All right, so this is the dollar index. And during the course of the week, the dollar played a lot of stunts. All right, but it just came into some of these zones that I already marked out based on, I think it was the weekly. All right, yeah, based on the weekly time frame. All right, there were a couple of zones that I marked from this previous move. All right, and currently we're seeing DXY reacting to that area. All right, but nonetheless, the daily time frame has given us this interesting rejection candle, all right, which may or may not play out. But nonetheless, my expectation is that we wait to see all right, we wait to see something like this before we can consider a possible push back to the top. All right, so maybe here, okay, let me reduce the thickness a bit. All right, so this would be my expectation on the DXY or of the DXY. All right, because right about now we're trying to understand what to expect from the dollar. So for me, the dollar is going to be a little bit bearish. All right, and I think I talked about this already since last week. All right, based on some of the movements that I saw on gold, some of the developments in the macroeconomics framework. All right. Russia beginning to adopt the gold standard and a lot of other things going on in the fundamental realms. All right. The next thing we want to look at right now is EXY, which tells us what to expect from the euro. The euro has been so weak. All right. I recall that last week Sunday we talked about the euro getting a lot weaker. All right. But I was actually expecting it to come into this zone before continuing lower. All right, but it just broke this low, all right, which means on the weekly time frame, we can start to check if there's anywhere in sight that the euro is heading towards. All right, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think the euro has a support in view right about now, and that could be due to, I think it was the resignation of the prime minister or something. I really don't know. I'm not familiar with all of those news, but I have some newsletters that I'm subscribed to that usually just give me heads up about some of these fundamental factors. All right, so let's just see what plays out in the next couple of days. All right, but at least I think we're still quite bearish on euro. All right, EXY, we're bearish. All right, although price might want to play a few tricks and then maybe do this before going lower, but I think the overall bias is still bearish. All right, so the next one, let's look at JPY basket. All right, so this was JPY basket. I think this was the analysis from last week. Was it last week? No, this was from last month. All right, we talked about the fact that it was going to come this far and then drop this low. All right, and then we could start to talk about some other movements. All right, but so far we've seen that JPY has done something else entirely. All right, which means that we now have this already. Okay. And for me, I think one thing we can start to look out for right now is the breakout of this wedge. All right, it's the breakout of this wedge, which means that we have a couple of options. All right, is either price does this. All right, owing to the fact that this level has been tested so many times, all right, tested and rejected so many times. So we may be seeing a retest that breaks through that level. Okay, we might be seeing a retest that breaks through that level. Now, why somebody is wondering, why would I say such? The answer is simple. All right. If you have a wall, let's say there's a wall and then you continue eating that wall at the same spot or around the same spot, you're eating that wall. All right. At the end of the day, what you will discover is that when that wall ends up, after some trials, all right, or after some tests, it's going to become so weak that an ordinary push can break that wall. Okay, so that's the same thing that happens with support and resistance levels, all right? The more they get tested, the weaker they become, all right? The more it's tested, the weaker it becomes. But this is not a training session. This is a review session. So basically, we're expecting price to maybe come here, all right, and then react higher because we can see that this already looks like an order block zone. All right, this already looks like an order block. All right, so price might just do this and then we see that push back up. So for me, I think the JPY is quite bullish. All right, I think the JPY is quite bullish. So right about now, we have all of our indices figured out. And the next thing we want to do is start to compare them or to use them and interpret them into what exactly we can expect from the markets for the week. All right, so welcome to the right. The first one we're going to be looking at is gold. I know a lot of people have highs on gold. Gold has not disappointed me in quite a while. All right, gold has not disappointed me in quite a while. This was a sell trade that I took on gold last week. And I think I dropped the updates on that trade when I took that trade. I dropped the notification in the free Telegram group just to let people know that, oh yeah, that was what I was going to be trading. I think I entered the trade on the 3 minutes time frame. All right, I entered this trade on the 3 minutes time frame, and I think I got a 1:35. All right, but I closed way earlier. All right, on my live account, I closed way earlier. All right, I think I closed at 1:10 or thereabouts. Somewhere around this line was where I closed on my live account. So let me quickly check. All right, yeah, 1:7. Right, 1:7.4, and then price came to do a lot more damage. All right, no, this is the one I should be looking at. No, it's not 1:2. Yeah, 1:13. No, it's not 1:12. 1:7. So that was a 1:13, 1:10 thereabout. All right, but price just jumped. All right, so right about now, I'm expecting gold to kind of make some moves. All right, remember we're looking at the dollar getting weaker, all right, on the long run. So it's just logical to expect that gold will at least make a bullish run for a while. All right, and coupled with the fact that we have an order block right here, all right, and we've seen liquidity taken out here, all right, trendline liquidity, equal lows liquidity. Both of them have been taken out around this level prior. All right, so we can expect some bullish impulse right about now. All right, from this other block region. Okay, so how do I interpret this for trading? All right, where should my entry point be? That is where the work comes in. All right, so in order to be able to figure out, a very reliable entry point on gold for the week, this is the 1 hour time frame. All right. The first thing you need to understand is we have a trading range. All right. We've seen liquidity grab here. All right. And we already have this as our trading range. All right. This high. So one of the first things we're looking out for on gold for this week. All right. One of the first things we're looking out for on gold for this week is that gold, if it's going to continue bullish, all right, it should at least come back here, all right, which is going to fill up this imbalance, all right, come back here and then bounce back lower, all right, maybe into this OB region or somewhere around this side, okay, and then we can have price coming back to mitigate this huge move, all right. Sorry, that was not it. Okay. Okay, so you see that we have this order block right around here. All right, there's another block right around here. And then we have another one sitting right here. Okay, but for security reasons, we might just want to see, we just might want to see it like this. As far as this is also concerned, you can see that my stochastics is not giving a clear direction yet. All right, so we might just see price bounce a bit lower, then bounce up, you know, something along that line. Okay, we might even just see price retesting into this OB and then going up. So there are a lot of options, but I think one of the safest entry points would be somewhere around here. All right, somewhere around here for this sell. All right, since we filled up this imbalance, structure is still a little bit bearish. All right, and then we can start looking out for buys around this zone. Okay, we can start looking for buys around that zone. All right, so please remember, if you're here right now, you have the opportunity to request an analysis of your choice. All right, so if you have a commodity you've been struggling to analyze over the weekend, all right, you can just drop it in the free group. All right, just drop it as a comment in the free group, and I am going to look into it during the course of this live market review. All right, so this is gold. That's the expectation on gold. All right, EU. All right, let's go to EURUSD straight up right now. All right, NASDAQ, we're going to look into NASDAQ, GU, EU. All right, all of those are noted. So this was EURUSD last week. All right, I think I caught this one ratio 7 quite cleanly. It was an amazing one. It was an interesting one. This was my Friday trade. All right, last week Sunday we talked about EURUSD doing something like this. All right, I think I gave the entry. I can't remember. But nonetheless, we can see that it played out swiftly, all right? It played out perfectly. This order block gave us an interesting movement. And then we came into this moving average that gave me what I was looking for, all right? It gave me the perfect entry that I was looking for. I missed that entry, but I was able to enter from, you know, a divergence on the 1 hour and just seize some entries along that line. Okay, I know somebody's wondering, oh, but this guy calls himself a smart money trader. How come he's talking retail? Well, for me, and at least if you're speaking with someone who has been around for a while, all right, if you're looking for someone who has been around for a while, trust me, you're going to know that everything works. All right, you just need to know how to put them together. All right, every single thing can work. All right, so as far as EURUSD is concerned, remember we talked about the fact that the USD could be a little bit weaker, all right, but nonetheless, we also saw that the euro has broken below a major support, all right, the euro has broken below a major support. So for me, I think it's not yet a clear buy for the euro. All right, it's not looking like a buy yet for me on the euro. So what I would like to see would be something along the lines of this playing out as a liquidity grab. All right, trendline liquidity grab. Maybe we get to have equal highs liquidity here too. All right, just maybe we get to have equal highs liquidity there too. And price comes this way, all right, maybe this way. And then we can go lower, all right? So for me, I think one of my preferred entry zones would be somewhere around here, all right? Either there or somewhere around this level, okay? Depending on the momentum that EU is able to give us, all right? Depending on the momentum Euro USD gives us. So by way of entry, if you're my student right now, you should know the areas that we're looking at for entries. So it could be somewhere around here, somewhere around here. All right. Feel free to just do a lower time frame confirmation of this point. All right. We have 1.03149. All right. We also have 1.07630. All right. So those are the areas I'll be looking out for entry. All right, Mr. Yobame, please type your whatever it is you would like to say. Can you please type it in the group for the sake of audio integrity? All right, so that we don't get to mess up the audio. All right, so please do that. Okay, so that would be my preferred entry for Euro USD. Okay, so quickly let's look at GU. All right, so this is GBPUSD. We've seen this reaction from here. All right, currently we're seeing a whole lot of interesting reactions from GU. Let me go to 2 hours time frame. All right, no problem. CADJPY, we'll look at that. We're seeing that this order block has been respected. All right. So currently, the possibilities of that order block still holding sway in the market is a lot lower, or is a lot less. All right. So I think the next zone we should be looking out for right about now would be somewhere around here or something in between. All right. Depending on what this looks like when you break it down to the lower time frames. All right. There. Maybe here. All right, maybe here. All right, BTC USD, that's noted. All right, I think on the lower time frame, this area looks like it makes more sense. All right, this area looks like it makes more sense. So let me remove this, and then we can just use the whole of this area as our POI. All right, I use this entire area as our POI, which means that maybe on the 5 minutes, on the 3 minutes, all right, you get to see the usual entry schematics that we look out for. All right, you can take the sell maybe to this point, and then from this area, I would be looking for a buy. All right, remember, I am not your regular scalping trader. I'm more of a swing trader, so I like to be able to allow the market come to me. All right, I'm not in a hurry to, make sudden money. All right, I don't think I'm under pressure to make money. So the basic thing is just wait and allow the market come to you. All right, allow the market come to you. I know it can be tricky, getting patient and all that, but please allow the market come to you. So for me, GU, this would be the perfect position. All right, I think On the 1 hour, I think I'm seeing another block somewhere around here, with the possibility of that giving us a reaction. Okay, so that would be it for me. GU, we're looking at something along the lines of maybe 1.19, something around 1.19811. All right, that would be the natural zones for me to look out for. All right, so NASDAQ, NAS 100. Let's quickly look at that. I'm sure those who were around for last week's market review will recall this setup. All right, I'm sure you recall this setup and what I said about NASDAQ last week. I think so far my bias has not yet changed. My bias is still very much intact. All right, because if we're talking about the dollar getting weaker, it means that NASDAQ to a large extent should still be a little bit bullish. All right, but nonetheless, I want to first of all see what the market decides to do around here. All right. All right. I want to see what the market decides to do around there. If I get to see something fishy around here, then definitely I'll be out of this position. This was an analysis that I dropped since last month. All right, about 2 weeks ago, and you can see that it's still playing out perfectly. Now, these are the kind of trades that I personally like to take. All right. And that's why if you ask me, I always tell you that I am more of a swing trader. I don't rush my trades. All right. I want to be able to relax and allow the market just flow in my direction. Okay. So for me, this has been on since 17th of June. All right. This setup has been on since 17th of June and it's still playing out quite perfectly. And I still expect it to, deliver some more pips, at least maybe for 1 or 2 days. All right, before I start looking for what the next direction would be. Remember, this other block and this level, for me, it's a combined confirmation of possible resistance, and I would like to be cautious around that level because this is already looking like a QML pattern. All right, our shoulder, the top, and then we've broken structure here, so we might come here to form the second shoulder and then head lower. But nonetheless, no pressures. Let's see what the market delivers to us during the course of the week. All right. I think after NASDAQ, the next request was for CADJPY. All right. CADJPY. Sorry. CADJPY has been an interesting one. Okay. CADJPY finally hit my take profit last week, Friday. All right, it's my take profit and then started to buy. Oh yes. Oh, all right. Ayobami, you must be from Dr. Bill's class. That's nice. That's nice. So this was CADJPY. This was the analysis from as far back as 26th of June. All right, and I spotted this other block. I told us price was going to react from this overall order block. All right, and you can see I had this 1:33 trade, 1:33 risk to reward trade going on around here. All right, and then you see that price entered into it, very little drawdown. All right, was a sharp entry, and then this was the overall take profit. All right, so yeah, this was a bullish reversal QML. All right, that's good to know. All right, so you followed your classes. So that was a bullish reversal QML. All right, and this played out perfectly. Now let me quickly say this. Those of you from Dr. Bill's class, you may not know the value of what you're getting right now, all right? But personally, myself and Dr. Bills, we spoke, and it was my current course that is for about $500. Dr. Bills actually pleaded on behalf of all his students, all right, that I'm able to please consider them, all right, and he would be paying up the deficit for all his students. So for me, that was amazing, and I just want you guys to know that what you're getting is top notch. All right, it's top notch. Is one is an opportunity you shouldn't take for granted. All right, so this has been CADJPY. Nonetheless, we can see that from my other block, we're seeing CADJPY reverse higher. All right, it gave us a clear break of structure, a clear break and retest. There was another QML pattern somewhere around here. I think it should be clearer on the 15 minutes. You know, price entered into the other block. Okay, price entered into the other block. We had this area here. Okay, then we broke structure higher here. All right, even though it wasn't a double break, all right, but we had one clear single break. All right, and price came back into this zone, which all my students know what to expect around this area right now. All right, came back into this zone. You can see that was the confirmation for the buy. All right, and this played out perfectly well. All right. And sincerely, if you're taking this trade, let me just quickly show you what that would have looked like in terms of risk to reward. Okay, just so you know that this is something that works, all right, and it's something that I would advise you to work with as well, all right. And then we had TP5 already, all right. This was TP5 already. So now this is basically how it works for me. Let me quickly remove this. All right, so as far as what's next is concerned, all right, we've seen price at this other block. Price has reacted at this other block. All right, so in terms of what next, I think the closest zone to check out would be somewhere around here. All right, somewhere around here. Let's see what price does around here. Reason being that there's a lot of pressure that is getting built up right about now. All right, we're seeing a lot of pressure building up right about now. Okay, and there's a possibility that we see this spring up. All right, we come back here. All right, remember AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. All right, so this has been an area of accumulation. All right, which means that we might be getting a manipulation that tends to, tap into here. All right, and then we get a distribution to a much lower point. Maybe here, maybe here. I can't say for sure yet. All right, but we want to see what this becomes. All right. So that's the other block we want to watch out for. The other block is somewhere around the vicinity of, say, 105.621. All right. 105.621. All right. So that's the price to watch for CADJPY. All right. For a possible drop. All right. We've seen this equal highs liquidity already taken out here. All right, so as far as I'm concerned, I think it's safe to say we can't see price drop from there, all right? Because all of this imbalance needs to be filled. Okay, so let's quickly look at the next one, BTC USD. Oh, interesting. BTC USDT. I think I have a crypto trader in the house. Okay, I think we looked at BTC USDT yesterday during the class I had with Dr. Bill's students. All right, this was TP4. I think we talked about that yesterday. But one thing we didn't talk about yesterday was what to expect from that zone. I think, let me go to my actual chart. All right, so this is my actual BTC USD chart that I use for my personal analysis on BTC USD. All right, you recall that this was the setup. All right, price will test into this zone, drop lower to this area, and then come back to the top here. All right, even though it didn't enter into my zone completely, it decided to react from this level. All right, it decided to react from that level, which is another block on the much lower time frame, probably 15 minutes. All right, but we will see that there's already been equal highs liquidity taken out here. all right, equalize liquidity taken out here. So once price stepped into this new order block zone, all right, we had this drop. But as a way for us to know what to expect next from BTC USD, all right, I think we can also see that there is this other block right around here. All right, even though we've not seen much of a liquidity grab yet, apart from here, all right, we've not seen much of a liquidity grab here. Okay, that was equal lows liquidity grab. So for me, I think we should be seeing price. Since this is even a pivot zone, all right, this is a pivot zone. We've seen price test around that area quite a few times. All right, so let me quickly confirm this. All right. So I think we should see something along these lines, all right, most likely. All right, so for me, I think BTC USD is preparing for a bullish run, all right, but nonetheless, I would prefer to see my entry confirmations on the lower time frames. Usually I do top-down analysis, which means that I start generally from the higher time frames, all right. Generally, I start from the higher time frames and then I just roll down the analysis from the higher time frames to the lower time frames for for better results. All right. So that's basically how I run my own analysis. All right. Has that answered your question? Even though I know I'm not supposed to be, necessarily answering questions right now, but nonetheless, I just wanted to get that out of the way. All right, so we're going to go into the next commodity right about now. All right, let's go into the next commodity right about now. Let me check what the next commodity is. BTC USD. Okay, GBPCHF. GBPCHF. All right. Don't worry. I have it figured here. I can see all the comments here. So let's quickly look at GBPCHF. All right. GBPCHF. Let's go to the 4 hours. All right, GBPCHF on the 4 hours time frame. All right, I can't remember if I gave this entry during the last market review. I can't remember, but this was an entry that played out quite nicely. All right, it was a bearish reversal QML. All right, we saw this liquidity grab here. All right, break of structure to the top side. All right, and then we had this movement. So if we were to check this, all right, basically we can see that this is about TP4. This other block is around TP4. All right. This other one was around TP3. All right. Price reacted to it a little bit. This one is around TP4, and we can see price reacting to it currently. All right. Now, what next should we expect? All right. What should we be expecting next? For me, all right, this looks a little bit fishy. All right, even though I know I'm supposed to be expecting price to be bearish. All right, even though I know I'm supposed to expect price to be bearish based on maybe this. All right, I know what the expectation looks like. All right, because this is like a bearish continuation QML. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. So what I would like to do would be to come to the lower time frames and then see something promising, all right? See something that is actually promising. All right, so it seems we have had a double break of structure around here. All right, we can quickly validate that as price moves on. All right, that's not steep enough. That's too steep. So basically, I think one of the things I'll be looking out for would be that price comes back here, all right, such that we take out this equal highs, all right, most likely. And after taking out those equal highs, we can come back to take out this equal lows, all right. So we should see something along these lines, all right, maybe something like this. All right, maybe something like this. So that price can test into this other block, and if possible, we continue higher. I don't know about that yet. All right, I can't see that far into the market yet, but I think that this would be something nice to expect. All right, that we see price return to this other block. All right, now we see price returning to this other block. And I think the safer entry for me would be somewhere around here. All right, would be somewhere around here. All right, would be somewhere around here. All right, somewhere around here. And then I can look towards probably 1.6685 as my entry. All right, 1.6685 as the entry for a buy. All right, on GBPCHF. But nonetheless, let's see what the market has in store. All right, it's still the week is still quite young. All right, so let's see what that becomes over the course of the week. All right, next one we want to look at the next request was for okay. All right, GBPCHF was the last request. So I think I've attended to all analysis requests for tonight. All right. So I think we can look at one more. Maybe we'll look at just one more. Euro GBP. I think we talked about Euro GBP since last week. All right. I talked about Euro GBP since last week. I gave the entry as 0.87630. All right. But quite unfortunately, I don't know if anybody took this trade. All right. I'm not sure anybody took this trade. Euro GBP for a sell. All right. And as you can see, price has played out perfectly clearly. All right. Perfectly clearly. Okay. So this has been really amazing. There's liquidity waiting around here, equal lows. So I think price would probably want to drop a little bit lower. But let's see how it goes. Probably drop a little bit lower, and then we can maybe have something along these lines. Maybe, just maybe. All right. All right. So that's for me about that. This young man that is loading me with analysis requests like this, Euro CHF, Euro JPY. I think the essence of the whole analysis request thing is to just give you a few pointers. All right. I definitely will not be the one deciding what you end up trading for the week, and I don't think I will be able to give you all the setups that you require. All right. But I think Euro GBP should be bullish. All right, it should be bullish actually, because we're looking at Euro getting weaker over the course of the week. All right, so I think Euro GBP should be bullish. All right, it actually should be bullish. So that's about that. King Fly, I'm only going to respond to just one. All right, I'm going to take one, just one. So maybe I'll look at Euro JPY. All right. I recall that this was a setup that I gave since 2 weeks ago during one of these live sessions. All right. During one of these live sessions, you guys have been taking my setups and making massive money, but you guys are hiding your money from me. You don't want me to chop your money. But nonetheless, we got a second entry somewhere around here, although I don't think I was active at that point in time. Yes. We had another entry somewhere around here from that divergence. Oh, no, it was a convergence. From that convergence, all right, and this played out as a 1:15 risk to reward overall. All right, EURUJPY. Remember, we're looking at euro still being weaker. All right, and you can see that I already marked out this zone on my EURUJPY chart. All right, based on the fact that we'll possibly see liquidity grab somewhere around here. All right, we'll possibly see a liquidity grab somewhere around here from that trend line. All right, and then price taps higher into this zone, and then we can go a lot lower. All right, as you can see. Okay, so that's my bias on EURUJPY. If you're just joining us, I know you came a little bit late, all right, but please stay calm, all right. As soon as we're done with this right now, the recording will be made available on YouTube, all right, so that you can go over it and you can be sure that you didn't miss anything, all right. You can be sure you didn't miss anything. So it's about time for me to say goodbye. My dinner has been waiting for me for a couple of minutes now, and I think I want to have dinner and go to bed. So thank you so much, everybody, for making out time to join our analysis request one more evening. All right, this is what we do every single Sunday, week in, week out. All right, and during the course of the week, we drop setups from time to time. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining. All right, my name remains Adetola-Freeman. I am your host and the lead instructor at Easy FX Academy. All right, and our goal overall is to be able to make trading extremely easy for you and as simple as chewing bread with butter. All right, so till I come your way again, until we have time to have another session, probably during the course of the week, I want to say a big thank you for attending this one. See you in the next one. God bless you and have a beautiful, prosperous trading week. Bye-bye.